7, 6, 5. We have program ready to start.
My dear friends, on 23 of August, Chandrayaan 3 is going to land on the south pole of moon. This is a big achievement for ISRO. Now, you might wonder what rocket is Chandrayaan 3 using to go to the moon? So, the answer to this question is GSLV Mark 3 rocket. Let's discuss about this rocket. So, GSLV Mark 3 rocket is a 3-stage rocket. You can see in a 3 of Mark 3. Now, the full form of GSLV is Geosynchronized Satellite Launch Vehicle. That means it can send satellites to geosynchronized orbit. I've told you this in my orbit video when I told you the types of orbits. Now, the height of this rocket is 43.5 meters and the diameter of this vehicle is 4.04 meters. And the fairing that protects the satellites and other equipment that are on the top of the rocket is 5.0 meters in diameter. Now, the main rocket component is the core stage of rocket and it is powered by two Vikas engines. And the name of this core stage is L110. And the core stage is held by two boosters called S200 boosters. And then the second stage of rocket is powered by a cryogenic engine. I will tell about this engine in my next video. So, the cryogenic engine name is C-7.5. It is the cryogenic engine that is produced by ISRO and fitted on the second stage of this Chandrayaan 3 rocket. So, now it comes to the main component of this rocket, that is the fairing component. In the fairing, that there are the satellites and any other vehicle that we have to transport to space or to the moon. So now what exactly are the fairings? You must see when rocket goes to space, something like opens up like petals and falls down to earth, and there is a rocket or a satellite inside the fairing. So that is called, these two parts are called fairing that protects the satellite when it's going to the space. Because of the atmosphere, there might be some damage to the satellite and this can be very harmful for the satellite. So that is why we use fairings. And the rocket has fuel capacity of 115 tons of fuel can be fitted into this rocket. So this is the rocket that is going to be used by ISRO, to launch Chandrayaan 3 to the moon. Before I will tell you the path of Chandrayaan 3, you have to understand an important concept called elliptical orbits and apogee and perigee. So, an elliptical orbit is an orbit in where this is the planet, this is the rocket. It launches, it will go like this, not a circular, an elliptical, like an oval shape, like an egg. And a circular orbit will be like this. An elliptical orbit would be like this. So you now understand what elliptical orbit. Now see, the farthest point from the planet in an elliptical orbit is this point. So this point is called the apogee. And when it goes back, this point that is the closest to the planet, that's called apogee. So this is only in a circular or no, in an elliptical orbit. But in a circular orbit, there is no apogee, no perigee, because it's even all over. So in elliptical orbit, there is apogee and perigee. So when first of all Chandrayaan 3 launches and will go complete one orbit, and when it is over here, it will boost and go into elliptical orbit. As it's crossing the apogee, it will cross the apogee and again will go to the perigee. That is the closest point to the earth, and again boost and again cross the apogee and come to perigee and again boost. It will do this 5 to 6 times, and when it enters in enough energy to go to the moon, it will last boost and will to the moon. And when this coming to the moon, it will push. It will go to the moon and orbit. Because of gravity, it will be pulled in. But if you don't deorbit or deboost, it will just go in that direction. But Chandrayaan-3 will turn and deboost. So it will go in an orbit. Then when it go to apogee, not apogee. No, apogee. It will again deorbit. It will come even closer. Again, 5 to 6 times it will do like this. Then at the last, when it is at 100 closer, again 5 to 6 times it will do like this. Then at the last, when it is at 100 kilometer, it will send the Vikram lander, and Vikram lander will land at the south pole of moon. So that is the flight path of the moon or Chandrayaan-3. You can see over here how it looks. So here is the earth and here is the moon. So it will go from earth and slingshot to the moon and deorbit and then land at the south pole of moon. So you can see over here and memorize this because it's very simple. So now that is the flight path of Chandrayaan-3. So that is end of this video. But there is something I want to tell you about the module, the Chandrayaan-3 module itself. I didn't tell you about the Chandrayaan itself. I only tell you about GSLV rocket. I have to tell you about Chandrayaan-3 module. So let's discuss about it too. Cut. So Chandrayaan-3 module is two-stage module. First is the service stage and the second is the landing stage. So when the Chandrayaan-3 will leave the Earth's orbit and go to the moon and deorbit. The deorbiting part is done by the service module of the Chandrayaan-3 and the orbiting, the slingshot method is done by the second stage, the cryogenic engine. So when it's deorbiting, the service module is being used and it will head Chandrayaan-3 to go get closer to the moon. So as the orbit of the Chandrayaan-3 reduces to 100 km, it will detach from the Chandrayaan-3 module and it will go to separate way orbiting. Then Vikram lander. So there are two parts, Vikram lander and the service module. They will be separated. And the Vikram lander will go down and land in the south pole of the moon. And in the Vikram lander, there is another piece of equipment called Pragyan, the rover. It will come out of Chandrayaan-3, the Vikram lander, and go and walk or roll on the surface of the moon. And there are also 5 instruments on Chandrayaan-3. I will not talk about them because they are very complicated. So Chandrayaan-3 basically want to study the seismic waves or the activities that are happening inside the moon, the seismic activities of the moon and the atmosphere of the moon, that if it have any atmosphere. And I also want to study the water that is present in the dark craters which is going to land in. So that is the mission of Chandrayaan-3. Thank you. Bye bye.